Hello and good morning to Star Campus. Welcome to this webinar. Today's topic is, what advantages will I have from the new service pack? It is additional functions at no additional cost. We will have a look at improvements and new functions. My name is Elke Fuchs and I work at Star LTS, which is a subsidiary of the Star Group. First, we have 8 additional languages and language variants to the already 200 languages we support. So it is more Asian languages, Tajik, Pashto and Dari, and for the New Zealand market you can now offer Maori in addition to English for New Zealand. For the global Spanish-speaking market, we have the additional language variant Spanish for the US and Spanish International. And in addition to this, we have the languages Breton and Corsican. We also extended the range of supported file formats. We now support up to the Office Package 2016, which means Word, Excel and PowerPoint. The DTP applications like InDesign FrameMaker are supported now until 2015. Then AutoCAD also until 2016. In general, we support now Visio 2002 up to Visio 2016. In a little bit more detail, beginning from 2013 and higher, you can directly import Visio documents. And 2013 and higher, you can translate Office documents and Visio diagrams in one single project. The same applies to when you have included or embedded Visio diagrams in Office documents. From Visio 2002 until 2016, the data exchange still runs via VDX files. The next one is about databases and operating systems. With Service Pack 9, Transit and TermStar officially support Windows 10. There has been no reported difficulty so far about this. And in addition to this, it is MS SQL 2014 for terminology databases, our TM container, and it's Oracle 12 for terminology databases. The next one is quite interesting, which refers to Project Exchange. It is that you now can unpack and process packages from MemoQ. You unpack the handoff packages in Transit. You can do pre-translation in Transit using your own translation memory to improve pre-translation. And you can work with the internal repetitions mode if there should be internal repetitions in the package. And when the translation is done, you can deliver back the handback package. And the project is the same as unpacking or packing PPF or TPF files or XLIF files or STL files. The next one is also in the area of Project Exchange. You can unpack now more XLIF file at once. Since an XLIF file is a package as itself, it has been seen rather like one single PPF. In general, all the CLM systems which export XLIF files, they export one XLIF file for each language or for each file or each area of their system. So a lot of times you get more than one XLIF file and you don't have to unpack them separately anymore. You just zip them and then unpack the zipped file, including all the XLIF projects. The next improvement refers to the Transit editor. We have additional information in the status bar. A lot of users of Transit haven't even noticed that there exists such kind of status bar. Now, just have a little look at it. You can see if you have a filtered view at the moment, if you have an active segment filter, then you can see the language expansion percentage for the active segment. Then you can see the length restriction for the active segment. Then you see the mode you're working in, like internal repetition mode, markup mode, translation mode. Then you can see the status of the active segment. And when you have a look at it in the Transit editor, you will see that we have a tooltip for each part of this status bar. The next improvement is in regard of the MT suggestions. Transit also has the possibility to work with machine translation. And we have two parts of machine translation. First, we can use machine translation already during the preparation of the project. And of course, the user can also use editor MT, meaning along the translation you can just go and check for online MT engines. What you see here, this screenshot applies to the import machine translation, and this is an example for a machine translation match which still has parts which could not be translated because there was no material to translate that. So in Service Pack 9 you will see everything which is still in the source language in another color. In this case it's green, so that you don't have to search and check is really there everything translated. Transit highlights this for you, that you see that parts of the segment are still in the source language. The next improvement also is in the area of machine translation. It is TM validated MT suggestions. This is something only Transit can do. This is that if we have a suggestion from the machine translation, but we also have a fuzzy match, Transit validates the two matches, the two suggestions, and validates the MT suggestion in that case that it brings it up in the fuzzy source window and shows everything which was not in the fuzzy match in another color, but it still could be translated, of course. So we have the best of both worlds. So we take the validation of fuzzy matching against machine translation. And always these suggestions of machine translation, they are shown in the fuzzy source window, and you're not forced to use it. It's not inserted without telling you. You are the one who inserts them or not. Next is in the field of quality assurance. It is for the FMT-Check, meaning the review check. We have added a new option there. Here you see it. You will receive this list when you click on this little triangle here underneath the Start This option refers to when you have done your review with all the options and for example you have ignored an additional bold markup or ignored a missing italic markup, you repeat the FMT-Check, and you can tick now this option, and then Transit will not stop at the errors you have ignored. Next one. It also refers to quality assurance. It's in the review options. It's the check of minimum status of a segment. All the way down here, we added a new option where you can determine the minimum status of a segment after the translation. This means if there should be a segment which has the status not translated or even lower status, Transit will tell you that you can check this segment. This is very helpful when the project comes from a CLM system or from Star James. This can be very helpful to check the segment status. And the segment status is set in the project settings already. If you're the project manager, you can set it there. If you receive the PPF file, a transit package, this is already set for you. You don't have to set it again. Next one. Also, quality assurance, it's the error report in the file navigation window. We just introduced a few key combinations for this error report that you can navigate through the list of errors with key combinations. All the different ones you will find in the user documentation. The next one is a completely new part in Transit NXT. It's the check for translation and source variants. You can check both. You can check translation variants. That means you have different translations for one source language text. And the other way around, you can check for source variants. That means you have the same translation for different source language text. Since this is a complete new part in Transit, I will show you how to make a translation variant report in Transit. I have here a project open which I have prepared to show you the variant report. I open up all the language pairs. Okay, here we go. So, I wanted to show you the variant report. Okay, I have this project open. I have all the language pairs open globally. And now I want to check if I have translation variants. I open up the review tab. And this is here. And source variants is ticked. And we just start. Variants are found and they are displayed in the file navigation window. As soon as I click here OK, the file navigation opens, and since it's a floating in window, I pin it and just make it bigger that we can see the complete content of it. The list of translation variants is shown here, and it's always the source and its corresponding variants like this. And the first and the second level, so to speak, is already opened. that you don't have to open them up first, like the translation variants, then all the source, then all the matches Transit has found. What you see as translation variant at the moment are differences in the text. For all those of you who know German, maybe you have already seen that we have here for the cake tin we have Backblech and Backform. Yeah. So we can go to the segment, and Transit brings us to the corresponding segment here. Open. And then you can see if this is still be okay, you know, in as far as the context is concerned, or if we have to change it in that we do not have a variant here. In this error report or in the variant report, you can also navigate from one segment to the next, from one variant to the next. You just press Control and go down with the arrow key. Yeah, like this. And then you can see, okay, then you can compare. It's easier to see, okay, can I leave this or not? We did this on purpose because you always have to check the context. You just cannot say, okay, no, clean up all the variants, put in just one which you want to, dear Transit. No, you have to check if it's really convenient. This list just contains variants as far as text is concerned. Transit can check more things, consider more differences as variant. And you can see this here. We have here an options icon. And at the moment, here all the instances are ticked. This means everything was ignored. That this is ticked is determined by the project settings, which the project manager can determine for you or yourself. Just depends on which stage you are in the translation process. Okay, Transit can consider case, can consider blanks and white spaces, can consider markups, numbers, pseudo numbers, and punctuation. And I have unchecked all the instances, and I click on OK. And now I want to update my display here in my variants window here. And I use again the little, as I showed before, when you tick the triangle here, you get a window, a pull down menu, and when you click here on update, Transit will recalculate all the variants, and the check is done, and Transit finds more variants. You see the list is quite longer now. Here the first example is for match case, für in capital and für in small letters. Here there's no textual difference, so what we do is we just have a look at it. What's the difference here? Okay, here it is. There we can see. Okay, it's the markup. There was a markup added to this segment, and it's even two different words are assigned with the markup. If we can leave it as it is, and just have a look at the next one, which is 100 grams butter. We have here, and here in the target, since you can display all kinds of spaces, you will notice this is another space than a regular one. This is a so-called non-breaking space. So the difference here is, you just can have a look, it's the space. You can change this or leave it as it is, And the next one. Oh, this is a number change. Preheat the oven to 160 degrees or 170 degrees. Well, this might depend on the recipe you work with. Okay, here again we have the texture change. We have Backblech and Backform. In this case, I really want to change this. Okay, so I'm here. I go into the language pair and I just press alternate enter and use the fuzzy index in order to see the variant. There must be another 100% match, which is the variant. And if I decide, okay, I want to change this, I just get the variant in my source fuzzy window and take it over as I would take over a fuzzy match. And that's about it. And then I can go ahead. I don't have to confirm or, apply a certain status or anything. You just change it and then you can go on. As you know, we work in files and we just have to save our changes in the course of our editing. Okay, next one is an example for different end punctuation. We have a colon. Here we go. We have a colon. Here colon. And here an exclamation mark. If we want to change this, we just go into the language pair, call our fuzzy window and take it over. And go back. Okay. Again, next example, a texture change. And here also. You see, it's quite easy to work with the variants or to check them or to correct them, to equalize them, because you can use key combinations you already know for the fuzzy source window. You call for the variant with alternate enter as you would for a fuzzy match, and you press alternate enter to insert the variant you want to use. This is the variant report. The next quite new functionality refers to reference material. To get, to have the screen free, I just close everything in the background. Like this. I don't need a fuzzy match window at the moment, Okay, I want to talk about this one. Modify reference material. This is the dialog you use when you want to change anything in your reference material. We have had this dialog in previous service pack, but now we have expanded it. We have added lots more possibilities for working, correcting, modifying reference material. Okay. The first you need to know is that when you want to work with this dialog, you will modify material which belongs to a project. So let me close this again and open the corresponding project, modify reference material. In this project, you have set languages, English to German. You have a working folder, as you always do, and you have a folder with reference material. When you want to modify reference material and you have this project open, you have a project open, Transit will check in the working folder and in the reference folder, and you will check the languages indicated in the settings. Okay, then we have opened the project. I open up the dialog again, and for example, I want to search for boat in the target. I can either source or target, and I say match case. Okay, find all instances where you find boat in the target. Transit has done the search. It brings up a result list on the left side of the dialog. The icons or the little symbols you see here at the first one, this stands for working folder, and the other ones are coming from the reference material. So you know that you can distinguish where it comes from, that these files are in the working folder and these files are in the reference folder. Okay, Transit already opens up the first file and the first segment, which contains boat. And when we have a look here, as we always do in our windows, we see the path where it comes from, and boat or the boat is marked in a color in the target. So I can go from instance to instance with a key combination. I just use Shift up and down like this, and when I open up the file, I just press Shift to the right. You find all the key combinations in the user manuals we have online on our website. Okay. If I want to refine my search, I can add additional filters to my search. For example, I can say, please only show me the target language boat when there is rubber in the source. Okay, and only display segments with this content, or hide them with this content. This depends on your search, of course. I click on Find All, and now you see my list is smaller, it's shorter, because now I only see all the segment pairs where boat is in the target and rubber is in the source. Okay. I could modify here directly if I want to, like this, because this is my change, and go to here to the next one. I can modify here. For all those of you who know German, this is wrong German. Click on Next. As soon as I have modified something in this part, in the result list, the segment gets a pencil symbol. This means you have edited something. There was a change done. The same applies when I say OK. I search boat in the target. Oh, and now I want to replace boat in the target with Bötchen, like this. And I can say replace. Transit go through all of them, or even, of course, replace all. And then we see here. Okay. As soon as we save all the language pairs, or we do a new search, Transit will ask us to save. Save all language pairs. Yes, please. And now my changes are in the reference material. Before that, I just edited everything. I didn't save it, so it wasn't just changed automatically somewhere in the background. No, we are explicitly asked to save. And as soon as I have saved, I see all the changes which are saved get a green symbol. And now we see that segment 48 hasn't been changed. I can also change the permission for these segments. Like, I can change the access status. For example, I can say, okay, I don't want to use this wrong segment. Probably you just want to find out a couple of segments and say, okay, I will not change them. I will just want to get rid of them. So you can change the access status of them. Like, I do not permit them as reference material. You can do this for the selected segment, and Transit brings up a message like asking you, are you sure? Are you know what you're doing? And it tells you that if you change the access status, this reference material, this segment will not be used for translation suggestions, pre-translation in future project, or translation suggestions in future projects. Yeah, if you want to have this, okay, you just say yes. And since we are here somewhere in the middle, you see, okay, there is another change here in this segment. And of course, you could also apply this status to all segments. And of course, you are asked again. Okay. And as soon as I say save all language pair, everything is saved. If I would change now here my search into Schauferrat, for example, find all. Transit asks you, okay, you have here some changes made, and now you do a new search. Do you want to save everything you have done before? And then you can say, for example, yes to all. And Transit only now starts for a new search, and it hasn't found anything. Okay, that was about the new modifying reference material option. This was about all I wanted to show you as far as Transit is concerned. There is one more thing I want to show you for TermStar. So this is what we're looking at. Cross-references in our dictionaries. With Service Pack 9, you have the possibility for a new kind of cross-reference. You can do now a cross-reference from all text fields to a complete data record. Let me explain why this is an advantage, or that this is an improvement. Just imagine you have a homonym, like two terms which are written the same. Like in German we have Bank for bench and Bank for the monetary institute. So if you want to link to either the bench or the monetary institute, you can link now to the complete data record. Before this, you were only able to link to the term. That meant, in this case, both data records were shown. Now you can distinguish between them. The next improvement, and the last improvement I want to show you today, is that we improved the linking to internet addresses. You can insert the www address in your data record, then make the cross-reference, and then as soon as you have saved this, you can click on that address and you will access the internet. This has been improved. Okay, so this is about it I wanted to show you today. Okay, summer vacation in August and in September. There will a webinar with the topic, how can I make terminology maintenance easier with filters? A very interesting webinar. You will have a look at the terminology under the microscope. This is an expert webinar, but try to attend. This is very interesting. More details to future webinars can be found on our website. Just go to www.stargroup.net. Thank you for joining this webinar, and please accept my apologies for the inconvenience while we try to open the first project. This happens. This is just the way it is. Okay, so thank you. Have a nice summer, and we hope to meet you again in September. Bye-bye.